I'm down for the rumble. I'm just a broke boy with dreams like a dope boy. But life can be a bitch, sometimes like oh boy. But I rap for mine like Simplify when they deploy. Real niggas stand 10 toes when life tries to destroy. Pride comes before the fall, watch the heavens a trizoid. A way to get six, but tell me how can you enjoy when you never been annoyed and shitted on like a busboy? The last shot be first, so don't trip when you the McCoy in this furnace of affliction. Ain't tripping off these decoys. My stilo showing up these boys. Comes like Bruce Leroy, call me boy, and I'll destroy. Ego, your hubris I'll enjoy. Like zebra cakes to a fat boy. Rolling in my hoop, bro, sounds on crank. AC on the fridge, so you know I'm rolling windows down, yo. Beer on tuck when I'm rolling, keep it humble. Watching for these laws, cause you know they're clocking for the fumble. A broke boy, trying to make it out this jungle. Got hope for the bundle, Lord, keep me out of trouble. Hard enough on the straight and narrow, nigga ain't trying to fumble like some bitch. But I swear I'm down for the rumble. Keep it pushing when you taking L's all the time. When your life's on the line, all you gotta grind, baby boy, keep it pushing, it'll all come in time. Don't sweat these haters on your line, and every dozen there's a dime. So know all these hoes come with shine. If one trip, there's another one for sure on the horizon line. Daddy jeans progressing me, mama on her knees praying, cause I'm in these streets like sesame, no felonies. Though I'm surrounded by people in dichotomy, do the poor decision based off of this economy. Don't feel you on the break, cursing Deuteronomy. These crackers got blacks and Hispanics in autonomy. Just follow me. Rolling in my hoop, bro, sounds on crank. AC on the fridge, so you know I'm rolling windows down, yo. Beer on tuck when I'm rolling, keep it humble. Watching for these laws, cause you know they're clocking for the fumble. A broke boy, trying to make it out this jungle. Got hope for the bundle, Lord, keep me out of trouble. Hard enough on the straight and narrow, nigga ain't trying to fumble like some bitch. But I swear I'm down for the rumble.
The things that are written in the Bible. I mean, we shouldn't have to do these things, but it's an unfortunate necessary evil that we have to do for those of the Kemetic community, those of the Islam community, you know what I'm saying, and even atheists themselves that do not believe in the Bible whatsoever, right? So today's class, we're going to be going over the fall of Babylon, right? Specifically dealing with Revelations 13, right? Okay, and breaking down something that the Christian church has never broken down, right? Okay, so if you could go to Revelations chapter 13 and verse 1. When you got it, go ahead and read it. All right.
Book of Revelations, chapter 13 and verse 1. Check. Okay, make sure I see her. Salaki. 13 and verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast.
What?
A beast.
A what?
A beast.
So biblically, what does the word beast mean? Now, does it mean like a physical animal? I mean, what? I mean, is it a pig, a hog? You know what I'm saying? What is a beast according to the Bible? Wrong?
According to the Bible, it means another nation.
Can you speak up?
Kana Wakanda means another nation.
All right, so beasts of the field are different nations, right? So this particular beast is going to rise up, all right, in the latter days. All right, go ahead.
Come. I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads.
Having what?
7 heads.
All right, does anybody know what the 7 heads of this beast are? Go ahead. Nations. They are nations. Do you know what nations they are? And, yeah, speaking to the mic.
Nations. Wouldn't that be like Asia, Russia, Europe, or?
That's you got some of them, but that's not the 7 heads though. Now those are what you would call the 10 horns. But what are the 7 heads?
Then would I go even further than saying Edomites? I'm trying to remember.
Think. So what? How can I say this? Where do those countries come out of? Like, try and think further back, right?
So what I think about
Like
Greece?
the countries that you named, like where do those? Well, those countries are breakoffs of other countries.
Well, I know Europe used to be a part of.
What is the major country in Europe?
United Kingdom. Besides,
Where's Buckingham Palace?
wouldn't that be Greece?
No.
No.
Anybody else want to give it a shot? Go ahead.
Kana Wakanda are those like the ruling nations.
Right. So give me a ruling nation.
England.
Okay, that's one. That's one of the 7 heads. All right. Give me another one.
China.
Mm-mm.
Not China.
Russia.
Yes, Russia. That's 2. Think of the places that everybody wants to travel in the world. All right. So England's one of them. Russia's one of them. Give me another one.
Spain.
Spain. There we go. All right. Go ahead. Give me one.
India.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. France.
France. That's 4.
Germany.
Yep. That's 5.
Italy.
That's 6. One more. They in league with Spain. The conquistadors.
Portugal.
Portugal. All right. So those are the 7 heads, right? Those are the ruling powers, right, of the world. All right. And ironically, if you look at the flag of these countries, right, majority of them got an eagle on it. Right. Okay. Eagle. Matter of fact, give me that in Deuteronomy 28, where it says, "As swift as the eagle flies." You understand? So, majority of these countries, their emblem on their flag is an eagle, right? It's synonymous because it's a family, right? This is a family. These are Edomite ruling power nations. All right. You got it? You got the scripture? Go ahead.
Book of
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
He shall do what?
He shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Now, these 7 heads, right? They are the ruling nations, but they are the pedigree of one nation, right? So in Deuteronomy, he said, the Lord said, if we do not keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, he's going to bring a nation from afar and what?
From the end of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
As swift as what?
As the eagle flieth.
Mm-hmm.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
You understand? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we still don't understand English. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we've been speaking our whole lives, and like, you know, a white man to come and talk like, what are you talking about, man? You know what I'm saying? They be talking about participles and predicates. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that, man? Just talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we still don't understand English, and within English, we've made our own language, right? You know what I'm saying? Or within Spanish, we've made our own language, all right? So a nation of fierce countenance is going to come from afar as swift as the eagle flies and speak a language that we do not know or comprehend, right? Keep reading.
Verse 50.
Mm-hmm.
A nation of fierce countenance,
There we go. Keep going.
which shall not regard the person of the old,
Mm-hmm.
nor shew favor to the young.
You understand? Like, it don't matter if you Trayvon Martin. That was a child. It don't matter if you Philando Castile. That's a father. You understand? And they treat the elderly like crap. You know what I'm saying? Because they have no regards for their elderly. You know what I'm saying? For their young, right? They throw their elderly and old folks home and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? They have no regard for the young. You know what I'm saying? For the of the age or for the elderly. Keep reading.
Verse 51.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land
Mm-hmm.
until thou be destroyed.
You understand? So everything that you yield before you can take of the harvest of the fruit that's being born from the work and labor of your hands, he's going to eat it up. Right? You know what I'm saying? Before you even get your check to pay your bills, Uncle Sam gonna get his check. He gonna get his cut. You know what I'm saying? With taxes, like what? Like if you are in like the lower ranking class, like what, like 35%? It's 25%. I mean, the Lord tithes is 10%. You know what I'm saying? He added an extra 15% on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you do, Uncle Sam gonna get his first. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you working for the United States government, you gonna pay taxes, right? Everything that you do, he's gonna get a portion of it. Matter of fact, he gonna get a double portion of what the Lord gets. You know what I'm saying? Because he thinks himself to be likened unto God. You know what I'm saying? That's in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? That he wants to rise above the stars of heaven and be like unto the Most High. So the Most High got 10%. I'm gonna take 25. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading.
God. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the incense of thy kin.
See, a robber just to come in your house and just, he see a TV, okay, I'm just gonna take TV, he gonna bounce. Nah, the white man, you know what I'm saying, his Edomites, he gonna take not only the TV, you know what I'm saying, he gonna take the entertainment center that it's sitting on. You know what I'm saying? Once he take the entertainment center, he gonna take the DVDs too. You know what I'm saying? Then he gonna take the rug that the entertainment center was sitting on. He's like, you know what? This is a nice wall. I'm gonna take the wall too. Oh man, this is a foundation support. I'm just gonna take the whole house. You know what I'm saying? He the type that go in your refrigerator, you know what I'm saying, have a snack, then eat you out of house and home, and then take the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? Like he's never satisfied. You understand? He's a vagabond. He's a culturalist bandit. You understand? So that's why he's the last of the Mohicans. You know what I'm saying? He's the last samurai. You know what I'm saying? He's the gods of Egypt. You know what I'm saying? He's Ben-Hur. He's Moses. You know what I'm saying? He's everything except for a caveman. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he is. You know what I'm saying? He's a culturalist bandit from the cleft of the rock. You understand? Keep reading.
God. Or the incense of thy kind,
Mm-hmm.
or flocks of thy sheep,
Mm-hmm.
until he have destroyed thee.
You understand? So that is the beast that we're dealing with, right? And the 7 heads come from this nation that came from afar off. A great nation of furious countenance, right? All these nations that we named, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Russia, England, these were the countries that were a part of the major conflict of World War I and World War II, right? These were the allies and these were the enemies, right? Okay? So These are the ruling heads of these countries. Now go back to Revelation chapter 13, and where you stopped at? You stopped at what verse? All right, go ahead. So you got the 7 heads. Mm-hmm.
Having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Okay, so we got the 7 heads, which are Portugal, Spain, Italy, Germany, France, Russia, and England. All right. Now, what are the 10 horns? Think about nations that come out of the 7 heads. Go ahead.
I got a few of them.
All
You know
right.
what I'm saying? You got Switzerland.
Okay.
You got Luxembourg.
Okay.
You got America.
Okay.
You got I want to say not the UK because that's England.
I mean, but all right. So, So who did Wales always fight with back?
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
Is it? Nah. They not. I don't know. I can't think of no more.
Go ahead.
Czech Republic, maybe?
No. Go ahead.
Russia.
We already got Russia. That's one of the 7 heads.
Okay.
10 horns.
10 horns. Then you already said America. Wouldn't that be South Africa?
Mm-mm. They didn't come out of those nations. They were conquered. Like South Africa was already a country, right? So, but they weren't a country of power, right? Okay. They never ruled. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Got 2 more. I think Australia,
Okay.
New Zealand. Nah, not New
Mm-mm.
Zealand.
You start with an N though.
Norway.
Mm-mm. Netherlands. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Come on. Huh?
I didn't know. That's all.
Oh, right. No sweat. No sweat. 4 more. Yeah, 10. 4 more. Who are their kinsmen to the Ireland?
Polish.
No. So okay, in Freemasonry, you have Masons and you have something right.
Scottish.
Scottish. Scotland. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you said Ireland already. Uh-huh. I gave you another hint. It's an army knife.
Switzerland.
All right, Switzerland.
Sir, we already said Switzerland.
Already said Switzerland? You said Switzerland? I don't think you said Switzerland. Nuh-uh. He said
Luxembourg.
he said Luxembourg. All right. Got 2 more. All right, I'll give them to you for time's sake. Denmark and Austria. You said Australia, you didn't say Austria.
I said Australia.
Yeah, you said Australia, right? So Denmark and Austria. Those are the other powers that come out of the 7 heads, right? Okay? All right, keep reading.
And upon his horns 10 crowns,
Mm-hmm.
and upon his head the name of blasphemy.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear,
Mm-hmm.
and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And
All
the
right,
dragon
So go back, read the start at verse 2 again.
and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
All right, so let's get some context on the beast. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 22. When you got it, go ahead and read it. Let me go there with you. Hold on, let me get there with you. 7 and 22. Get there with you. All right, when you got it, go ahead and read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord thy God will put out those nations before thee by little and little.
Mm-hmm.
Thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beast of the field increase upon thee.
You understand, right? So the beasts of the field are the other nations, right, outside of Israel, right? So what you have to understand is all the beasts of the field, they eat off of you to survive, right? You look at our communities, right? Who owns your liquor stores? The Vietnamese and the Arabs, right? Some East Indians too, right? Who owns your nail salons? Vietnamese and the Chinese, right? Who owns your beauty supplies? Vietnamese and the Chinese, right? Who owns your subways? The Arabs, right? It's Ishmael, you know what I'm saying? Okay, who owns your grocery stores, right? It's either going to be the East Indian, the white man, you know what I'm saying, or the Asian. You know what I'm saying? So, and then you go to your gas stations, the Arabs and the East Indians, right? All you got is a little unsuccessful barbecue spot on the corner, or a little small taqueria or a food truck on the corner. So to your one little small business that might not even have infrastructure, you got 10 to 15 businesses in your community on your block that's not owned by your people. You understand? The beasts of the field devour you. But you go in their communities, every store is owned by them. You know what I'm saying? All the workers in every establishment is their nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? So the dollar circulates multiple times in their community, you understand, before it leaves. The dollar only stays in the black community for 6 hours. In the black and Hispanic community, the dollar stays in there for 6 hours. Look it up. You understand? 6 hours before it goes into the hand of another nation. That's what it was talking about in Deuteronomy. You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as you get your check, the white man take his portion, 25%. Then you know, for the sisters, you know, they gotta have, you know, the beauty, like, they gotta have their leave-in conditioner. You know what I'm saying? They gotta get their shampoo. You know what I'm saying? They gotta get their hair moisturizer. You know what I'm saying? All their beauty supplies, so they going to the Asians. You know what I'm saying? They and then, you know, you gotta go to the grocery store. Then you dealing with the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to a chicken spot in your hood. It's owned by the Asians too. You know what I'm saying? Then you just got off work. You know, he's so tired of slavery, man. Like, I need to deal with some of this anxiety that I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? From this oppression. You gonna go to the liquor store, get you a bottle. Then you gonna pay off the East Indians. You know what I'm saying? The Arabs or the Asians. You know what I'm saying? Before you even put money in your savings account to pay yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you done paid off 5 nations before you even took something home for your family. You know what I'm saying? That's how crazy this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, Babylon is a melting pot of, I won't even say a melting pot. No, it is a melting pot that is a trough of all the nations coming to eat off of you. You understand? That's what America is. You understand? Because in every major metropolitan city, you got a Chinatown. You know what I'm saying? You got an Arab town. You know what I'm saying? You got a little Jerusalem with fake Amalek. You know what I'm saying? Like, the place where I live in the hood, but it's surrounded by a Jewish community. You know what I'm saying? Amalek. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? All right, keep reading. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me another precept. Give me Ezekiel 34:8 for the beast. Well, you got to go ahead and read it.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
As I live, saith the Most High Power, surely because my flock became a prey,
Mm-hmm.
and my flock became meat to every beast of the field.
There it is right there. You know what I'm saying? Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have become meat to all the beasts of the field, to all the other nations, right? Like, that's why Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans you have civil rights. You don't have human rights, right? They like, you are still 3/5 of a man. They just have to treat their horse civilly, their dog civilly. You understand? But you've never ever seen a farmer being brought up on charges for putting down his horse, or putting down his dog. You understand? Or putting down a hog, right? You understand? That's what you are to them. You understand? You're property. You're cattle, right? That's why situations with Philando Castile go unchecked. You know what I'm saying? The situation with George Floyd, I mean, I hope that there's justice. But I mean, based off the track record, you know what I'm saying? Like with Sandra Bland, you know what I'm saying? With Alton Sterling, my hope ain't too high. You know what I'm saying? My hope is in the day of the Lord. You understand? When judgment will be served. You understand? When he said that day of judgment is under the sun, where the righteous and the wicked will be there. You understand? And the Lord will cast down judgment from the white throne. You understand? That is the only justice that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will get. You understand? Because in the book of Revelation, it says, he that leadeth in the captivity shall go into captivity. Right. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Right. You understand? The only atonement is what has been done to you. And the scripture says in Revelations to give unto her cup double for her double. Right. You understand? Like, they have mercilessly killed and stripped away your culture. They have done that to no other people. You understand? Every other nation is under the hand of the white man. You understand? But every other nation has their culture. They have their land. You understand? They have their God. You understand? They have stripped away your knowledge of self, your knowledge to get to your power, and then make it seem like it's blasphemy. You're a black Israelite? You're celebrating Passover? Why? It doesn't make any sense. It sounds foolish. When you a black man, Hispanic man, or Native American speaking Hebrew, what? What is that? You understand? What are these fringes? These drapes that you have on the side of your pants? You know what I'm saying? See, but what they don't realize is that's your culture. You understand? You go and look at the Native American garments, right? They had fringes on the border of all their garments, and they had blue topaz beads on the border of them. You understand? They had white feather chieftain hats, you understand, that represented the Levite mitre that they had to put up on the head, and the crown is open. You understand? They were a nation of kings and priests. You understand? Every man was a king of their household, and they were a priest and did priestly work. You understand? If you don't believe me, go read the book History of the American Indians by James A. Dare. That whole book is about Native Americans, like the civilized tribes, the Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Seminoles, the Sioux Nation, right? Keeping the Green Corn Festival, which is Passover. They're keeping the Green Corn Festival right now. You understand? They have a Day of Atonement where they fast and go without food and water for hours. They have a Feast of Dedication. You understand? When their women are on their monthly, they're separated them from the nation. And they had like little houses they had outside of the community for sisters that were unclean. You understand? How do you explain the Los Lunas stone found in New Mexico that has the 10 Commandments, you understand, in Paleo Hebrew, in the middle of America? But Paleo Ancient Hebrew is the oldest language that of Babel, you understand, and gave every nation their own tongue. So for trading purposes, you understand, they had a tongue that everyone knew and spoke. That was Paleo, ancient Phoenician Hebrew. You understand what I'm saying? So how is a language from the time of Babylon in the middle of America? But they won't tell you that. We've been here. You understand? This is our land, just like from the Mesopotamia to the east of the Nile River is our land. You understand? We fled to come here to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments like we did in our own land and tried to flee captivity. But one thing that you got to understand is you'll never rise above the status quo of your nation. So if you got one brother or sister that's under oppression, we're all under oppression. Did the nation fall because of many? How did we lose Jerusalem? Was it because of a lot of people or because of one man? Answer, it's a question. Did we lose Jerusalem for the sake of many or for the sake of one? Anybody? Go ahead.
Would it be for the one?
So who's the one? How do we lose Jerusalem? Because of who? Who's the wisest man who ever walked upon the face of the earth?
YAHANNA.
Technically, that's correct. Technically.
Okay. Seeing Jerusalem.
When is the last time that we had a kingdom, a nation? Under whose rulership? Biblically.
King David. If not, we're talking about King Solomon, right?
King Solomon. King Solomon is the wisest and richest man who ever lived upon the face of the earth. He was also our last king as a whole of a nation, because after him, the nation split in half. That's where you got the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, right? You understand? Because the Lord said, because of the sin of your father Solomon, I'm going to render the nation. You understand what I'm saying? Right? So it's always for the sake of one. If we went out to battle and one person sinned, we lost the war. You understand? And the other nations know that. That's why they will not allow you to keep your culture. You understand? Because if you knew your power and you knew what you are capable of, if everybody is perfect, you understand? We'd walk into the kingdom overnight. You understand? Yeah, the Most High, our God, Yahweh, will sing Yahweh Shai, Michael and Gabriel and all the archangels, and it'll be 200 million UFOs or chariots in the sky, and it'll be over. That's why this work is so important, to bring down Babylon. You understand? There's nothing more important than your work that you do here. This is your job. What you do for finances is a slavery act. You understand? So if you lose a slavery, guess what? You can get another slave out. It's not hard. You understand? You just can't be prideful in heart. You understand? You have to learn to be content. As long as you got food, as long as you got shelter, as long as you got clothing, that's all that matters. You understand? You just go through the mental angels because you look to the left of your brother or your sister. Oh, he driving in a Benz, and I got a Nissan Altima. It's still a car. You understand? He eating quail, and I'm eating arroz con pollo. You know what I'm saying? It's still chicken. You know what I'm saying? He eating filet mignon, but I'm eating barbacoa. You know what I'm saying? He eating the finest of the cow. I'm eating the cheek meat. It's still beef. You understand? This person has a 5-bedroom house, you know what I'm saying? 3-car garage, 2.5 bath. I got a 1-bedroom apartment. But he's struggling to keep food in the refrigerator in his house, just like you having trouble keeping food in the refrigerator in your apartment. You know what I'm saying? You thinking that that's heaven, but he's in hell just like you, just trying to keep the lights on. You understand? You have to learn to move to a place of contentment. You understand? And that is the only way we as a people will be able to rise. Learn to be content in what you have. You understand? And be thankful. And with what you have, help others. The golden rule: treat and love thy brother as thyself. If I'm hungry, I know you hungry. You know what I'm saying? If I want my kids to be protected, I know you want your kids to be protected. You know what I'm saying? If I need shelter, I know you need shelter. You understand? That is how you build the kingdom. Dig what I'm saying? All right? Let's go back to where we were in Revelations. Hey, Ron, give Ataza one more call and see what he needs out. What?
Book of Revelations, chapter 13, and finish up verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And his mouth as the, so like I just started over. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
All right.
And his feet.
Stop right there.
Come on.
All right. So I'm gonna put an image up on the screen. If you're in class, you might have, because we don't got the screen working up here. But you can look at class online. Hold on 1 second. I'm about to pull it up. Boom. All right. So does anybody know who or what the nation that the leopard represents? Who is that in history? Hold on. I know you know, because you a history buff just like me. Who is that that's on that horse?
Alexander the Great.
All right, it's Alexander the Great. All right, and what is on his horse? What's his saddle?
Leopard skin.
Leopard skin. Right. So the famous story of Alexander the Great, you understand, when he was a young man, right? He slew a lion, right? And it's also the representation of the pedigree of his family, right? His father, who was also a great general, a great warrior, right? So-called, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody greater in my book than Judas Maccabeus, you know what I'm saying? Joshua, Shemashawan, or Samson in the Hebrew, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like boys slaying down legions, you know what I'm saying, with jawbones, you know what I'm saying? They got swords and shields, you feel me? You know what I'm saying? So the leopard represents Greece, right? Which is Alexander the Great. That is the empire that he began, right? Okay, keep reading.
Come. And his feet were as the feet of a bear.
Of a what?
Of a bear.
All right, does anybody know what nation whose symbol is the bear? Did I put that on? Did I save it? No sweat. All right, anybody know?
Like it, sir.
Go ahead.
Persians and the Medes.
That is correct. The Persian and the Mede Empire, right? So the edge of the Persian Empire is where the left or the beginning of the country of Russia is, right? So Russia is known as the black bear, right? The symbol is the bear, right? I mean, of course, because, you know, black bear is native to the land of Russia, right? So, and remember, that's also one of the what? 7 heads, right? Okay? And out of those 7 heads, right, you have the nations that rule over us today. Okay? Keep reading.
And his mouth as the mouth of a lion.
Of a what?
Of a lion.
All right, so what nation represents the lion? Hold on, I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Shrink this down so the people online can see. second. Alright. Alright, there we go. Boom. Alright. What nation represents the lion? I got it up on the screen. Anybody? Go ahead, bro. A nation. So Judah is a tribe of a nation, right? All right. So the symbol for our nation is the lily, right? Which is also where you get the Dawadah from, right? Like the Dawadah, what the fleur de lis, right? That's our symbol, right? Because that is the favorite flower of the Most High God. All right, so that is our symbol of our nation, right? This is a symbol of Israel. All right, so what nation symbol, right, is the lion? All right, so on the screen, does anybody know what nation that God comes from? Go ahead.
If I'm wrong, you can tell me. Egypt.
Close, very close. Right before Egypt.
Right before Egypt?
Mhm.
Okay. Babylon.
Assyrian.
There you go. Get a brother hand. All right. So this is a representation of their god Ashur, or a version of Ashur, which is Shedru, right? So he had the head of a man and the body of a lion. All right. So their nation was represented by a lion, right? So these are the history of our captivities in America. I mean, not in America. Our the history of our captivity of every time we've broken the laws, statutes, and commandments, right? We were in slavery in Babylon, right? Then we were in slavery in the Assyrian Empire. Now, coincidentally, this is also the history of language, right? So during the Babylonian Empire, it was Paleo-Ancient Phoenician Hebrew, right? Then we were under Assyrian captivity. It's where you get Assyrian Hebrew, right? Okay? And then modern day Hebrew is Yiddish. We under the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like, our language has changed under each captivity that we've been in, right? So you have, we were enslaved under the Babylonian Empire, under the Assyrians, right? Then the Persians, right? Then Egypt, right? Then Greece, right? Which was Alexander the Great, right? Then the Greco-Roman Empire under Julius Caesar, right? And then the nations, the 7 heads, come out of the fall of the Greco-Roman Empire, right? We're still in Rome now, right? And we're going to prove that later on in this class, all right? No sweat, Doc, you're fine, all right? No sweat, all right? So let's go back. Go back to Revelations. Oh, we still there, all right? So keep reading.
And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. Verse 3.
All right. So the dragon, who is the dragon? It's in Revelation. I think it might be the let's see, is it 12? I think it might be 5. That's all mine. Huh? Yeah. Hold on, I got you. It's Revelations. It's Revelations 12 and 9. All right, so go to 12 and 9. So we can find out who the dragon is.
Book of Revelations, chapter 12, verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent.
So who is the old serpent? Based off the Bible, who or what is the old serpent? It's the first biblical story that you learned. Ever. I'm talking about before you was even in the truth. Go ahead, Ron. It's the serpent that was in the garden, right? So that old serpent, what is the old serpent? Or who is the old serpent? Go ahead.
The spirit that's carried with the white man.
But what spirit is that?
That seductive evil spirit that'll make a woman turn against her man, like, you know, Satan, the spirit of Satan almost. You know?
Right. I mean, it's gonna literally say it. Keep reading.
Called the devil and Satan.
Called the devil and Satan. Now, why does it say the devil and Satan? Anybody?
I'm asking a pure question on this one. Is it because of the actions that the person takes?
No. What is a devil? What is a devil? Go ahead. It's a what? I'll accept. Okay, yeah, it's a deceiver. All right, so
a wicked person.
It's a what?
A wicked person. Somebody wicked.
It's a wicked person. Okay, those are all right answers. Go ahead.
Silver tongue?
So what?
Silver tongue?
What is that colloquialism attributed to?
A white
You're
man.
a silver-tongued devil. What if I say, boy, you a handsome devil? What am I saying? Give him a chance. If I say, boy, you show one handsome devil, what am I saying?
Tempting?
What you say, sis? Okay, that's still the same thing, but what is it attributed to? Who am I? What am I talking about? If I say you a handsome devil, what am I talking about? It's very simple. In the words of General Muhammad, blow my mind. Uriah.
I mean, you're talking about my characteristics. I mean, I might be handsome, but I'm slick.
Okay, a devil. Okay, it's the characteristics of a what?
You're talking about a white person?
Okay, so if I say you a rat, right? Am I saying that you're a physical rat?
So I'm a snitch.
But it's a characteristic of a what?
Adam.
No.
Snake.
No.
No.
It's a characteristic of a man.
I said
Right?
man. I said a wicked
So
person.
a devil
wicked man.
is a man. Right? Okay? So a devil, the word in Greek, diablos, right? As Ram said, it is a deceiver, an epithet that is attributed to a man. Okay? The reason why it says devil and Satan, because Satan is a what? It's a what? Spirit. Right? So the spirit of a deceiver is what? I just said it. No. Okay, Satan is a what? So if a man is a devil, he has the spirit of what? Most High in Christ. Give everybody a hand. Right? Okay? So, Alexander the Great, right, is the first human being that was a physical embodiment of Satan on earth. It's in Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. I think I have my book. Hold on one second. Do I have it? Yep, sure do. I think it's page 12. Come take this book. You gonna read that part right there? It's highlighted and underlined? Sure, of course. So this is so the book that he's about to read from, it's an excerpt from Lost Tribes and Promised Lands, the origins of American racism. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
So you want to say the title of the book and the page that you're reading from?
Okay. Lost Tribes and Promised Lands. Prologue, the Catalan Atlas,
All right. What page you on?
13.
All right, go ahead.
Alexander was one of the preeminent heroes of medieval tradition,
Mm-hmm.
and a large body of mythology came to surround him, particularly with the regard to his travels and conquers out at the outer limits of the known world,
Mm-hmm.
beyond the Indus and the Caspian. It is above all in the far northeast that he became a figure of Christian apocalyptic import.
Mm-hmm.
Here he is said to have had dealings with Satan.
Had dealings with who?
With Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Some traditions identify Alexander with Satan.
They identify him with who?
With Satan.
So remember, in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, it said that old serpent, the devil, and Satan. So a man that has the spirit of Satan. Keep reading.
And to have built an enormous wall within which he enclosed certain peoples.
Mm-hmm.
The traditions of the wall seems to have been founded in the dim realizations of the Great Wall of China and the Caspian Gates.
Mm-hmm.
The peoples enclosed, according to the predominant Christian versions, were Gog and Magog.
Were who?
Were Gog and Magog.
All right, now hold that. All right, so I'm gonna go to Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 1. All right, and I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosened for a little season. All right, so I'm gonna drop down to verse 7. All right. Verse 7, and when the 1,000 years expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison, and he shall go out to deceive the nations, which are the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog. You understand? So, Alexander the Great, right, is that devil who had the old serpent in him. You understand? Had the spirit of Satan. And according to this book, he's going to keep reading, he's going to say it, he united Gog and Magog. So when people's like, well, where is this stuff in history? None of this stuff has happened. You understand? Like Satan, the spirit of Satan, you understand, he's already been released from the cage for his 1,000 years, after his 1,000 years. You understand? He has dominion to deceive the entire world. That's why everybody's under the foot of the white man. Everybody is still under the foot of the Greco-Roman Empire started by Alexander the Great. Keep reading.
The Christian versions were Gog and Magog.
Mm-hmm.
The apocalyptic hordes from the north mentioned in both the Old and the New Testaments, Gog and Magog, are somewhat ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
In chapter 20 of the book of Revelation, they seem to be two nations. But chapter 38 and 39 of Ezekiel describe a ruler named Gog of the land Magog.
Mm-hmm.
Legend thrives on ambiguity, however, and the possibility of conceiving Gog as an individual commanding these barbarian armies enable tradition to identify him with the Antichrist of the New Testament.
With the what?
With the Antichrist of the New Testament.
You understand? Alexander the Great is described as the Antichrist of the New Testament. Antichrist been here. You understand? The spirit of the Antichrist has been here since Alexander the Great. So if that took place then, how much closer do you think we are at the end now? Go ahead. What's your...
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I don't want to go too much off topic.
You good? Go ahead.
So, when Yahushua came down, well, when Yahushua was here,
Mm-hmm.
when he was, basically our way to forgiveness through the Lord and whatnot, through
Mm-hmm.
him, with us not following our ways, basically, still there were more people still need to be saved and be part of the truth. We still fell prey to this. I would say, what's the word for it? I would just say, for this, I keep forgetting the word for it, but we felt privy to what was already spoken upon, which was already was supposed to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
the chance that we was giving to get right with Yahweh,
Get right with Yahweh through Yahweh.
yeah, get right through Yahweh with Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
Since we didn't take that chance, this was supposed to happen anyway.
Well, yeah, it was already destined to happen, right? So the Lord told the Most High, you know what I'm saying, told Abraham that his descendants, they would go into slavery for 500 years, right? Okay, so but it was because of our disobedience, right? So it's just like any father, right? Like Marah, you a father, right? You know what I'm saying? You just had to discipline your child, right? Why did you have to discipline your child? Right, because the child was doing something that they knew that they're not supposed to do, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? So just like any father, if he loves his child, he corrects his child. Scripture says, he that spareth the rod spoileth the child. You understand? He that loveth his child must chastise his child, right? Because if you don't, that child is a bastard unto you. You understand? So us being Yasha'Allah in the Hebrew, a prince or son of the power, right? You understand? What do you think your spiritual heavenly father is going to do to you when you break the rules? That's why we're still in slavery, right? But we have grace. We have mercy, right? What is grace? Grace is a grace period. Just like, you know, when you call the light company and you can't pay your lights on the 1st, they give you a 15-day grace period to pay your lights, to keep your lights on. So the grace period is a time from when Christ left to when he comes back for you to come back into your culture and keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? All right? Did I answer your question?
Okay.
All right, no sweat. Keep reading.
Okay. All right. Identify him with the Antichrist of the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
It was therefore to be the Antichrist who, at the end of the days, would lead the hordes of Gog and Magog when they broke through the wall in which Alexander had enclosed them, to overrun the earth as a prelude to the second coming. History even provided candidates for the role from time to time, such as Tartarus in the 13th century. The Catalan map presents the essential imagery and lore of the tradition. The wall is depicted as well as Alexander himself, Satan.
It depicted Alexander the Great as what?
Depicted as well as Alexander himself, Satan.
You understand? The old serpent, the devil, and Satan. See what I'm saying? So the devil is a man. It's an epithet that's attributed to a man, right? Somebody that's shady. You understand? Somebody that is a deceiver of an accuser, of a deceiver and a false accuser of the brethren. Why? Because he has the spirit of Satan. Don't get it twisted. Satan is an angel of the Lord. His job is to prove you. I can't say what I want to say. I'm gonna say a Han Solo. You know what I'm saying? To prove you to be not worthy of your crown. The only way he do that is put you in situations, circumstances, see what you gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be like, oh, this is Marah. Cigarettes. You understand? He gonna be like, oh, this is Tazadak. Weed. He's gonna be like, oh, this is such and such. Whores. He's gonna put it next to you. See what you're gonna do. See, the affliction, the torture goes on inside of you, but all this happens outside is just something being placed next to you. You go through the pain and agony or burn with the passion of lust inside of you. You understand? No man is tempted above what is common to man. You understand? So, but guess what that means? If I was able to stop smoking weed, what does that mean you can do? You can do it, right?
God.
If you can, if this brother can stop laying with whores, what does that mean you can do? Right?
God.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not better than nobody. I'm not better than you. You understand? But in order for me to tell you to remove the plank from your eye, what does that mean that I had to do first?
Do the same.
I had to do the same. In the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we are demanding you to be perfect. Why? Because Christ commanded us to be perfect because he was what? So if Christ can do it, what does that mean you can do?
The same thing.
Because he was a man and had flesh and blood just like you.
That's right.
You understand? There were disciples that walked with him. They were men, just like Christ. You understand? And they kept the law, statutes, and commandments. So if Christ and the disciples could do it, you can't. Job was perfect too. You understand? It said that Job was a perfect and upright man. You understand? So Christ was perfect. Job was perfect. You can't be perfect? I don't understand. It's not hard not to lie. It's not hard not to steal. It's not hard to give reverence and respect your mother and father. It's not hard not to eat shrimp, pork, crab, and lobster. It's not hard to stop smoking weed. It's not hard to stop being a whore. It's not hard to stop being a whoremonger. You understand? It's not hard not to celebrate Christmas, birthdays. You understand? Thanksgiving. I mean, God forbid, it is the mass murder of your people. You understand? Like my great grandmother and grandfather, they full-blooded Choctaw Native Americans. The hell I look like celebrating the genocide of 700 Native Americans during the Green Corn Festival, which is Passover. You understand what I'm saying?
Wait. So, not only did they lie about what time they did Thanksgiving, they even covered up.
So, all right. So we did a whole class breakdown on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna give you the cliff notes so we can move on, right? So, Thanksgiving is a hunting party, right? The first Thanksgiving was when the settlers came, right? And to survive, the Native Americans taught them how to farm, taught them how to hunt, taught them how to make clean water, you understand? Taught them how to make houses, you know what I'm saying? Taught them how to irrigate the land, right? So during the Green Corn Festival, right, they murdered basically a whole tribe, a whole village of 700 Native Americans that gathered together, you understand, on their Green Corn Festival. That was the first Thanksgiving, right? So after that, anytime there was a hunting party that hunted either mass tribes or a hunting party of Native Americans going out to hunt to bring food into the tribes or wipe out a whole village, they would have a Thanksgiving celebration. They were thankful for wiping out the savages so they can take their land from them, right? And they did it so much, you understand? I forget what president it was. I want to say it was Turner. Yeah, I believe it was Turner. They were doing it so much. He was like, "Look, man, y'all can only celebrate Thanksgiving one time a year," and the day that he deemed it on was in November, right? Because every time they would go killing Native Americans, they would have basic thing like this. Every time that they would lynch niggas, they would have a party. And that's what they did, right?
A gay party.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they doing some mad homosexual stuff. Like they would get drunk. Cause like back then, you know, the settlers they sent over here, right, were the worst of their nation. It was kind of like what Australia was. Australia was the Alcatraz for Great Britain, right? So they did the Bay of Pigs in Australia. They did the Bay of Pigs in America. So the settlers they sent over here to set up civilization where they're criminals, where they're rapists, they're murderers, right? They're thieves, okay? So they would get drunk because there wasn't no women here. So they would get drunk and they would rape one another, right? Or they would steal one of the Native American women and rape them. You understand? So what does a murderer, a thief, and a rapist do? They murder, thieve, and rape. As they did to the Native Americans. They raped their women, killed the men, and stole their land. Go ahead, Art.
But the people from from those countries are not so much different from the criminals.
What do you mean?
Well,
What people from what countries?
I would say Europe. They're not so much different from the criminals. They just have more
they're
money.
they're civilized murderers, thieves, and rapists, and pedophiles.
Definitely that.
But all of that comes from Alexander the Great. You understand? Alexander the Great was the quote unquote greatest general, and he was also a homosexual. You understand? Like he married the Persians, one of the daughters of the Persian kings that he conquered, right? As a cover, so it can look like he was normal, but one of his generals was his lover. Go ahead.
I mean, Salakia, throughout Greco-Roman society, what they taught for their soldiers to do was partake in sexual acts with one another because it strengthened the bond when you would fight for your lover. You would fight for the nigga right by you was your lover, and it would make you fight harder against your enemy because this is the person you lie down with.
Right.
So the marriages were for show marriages. It wasn't like, they was getting, so they got married to leave on a legacy so that way you didn't lose your estate.
Right.
So you wouldn't lose your estate because once they found out you were a homosexual, you were shunned publicly. But in the public eye, having one wife, which is where they even get monogamy from, that's almost a homosexual type of entity to engulf in, unless you really love your woman. Not saying with natural marriage as a man loving more than one woman because he's capable of it. But at this time.
And to add on to what this brother is saying, in the Roman society, in the Greco-Roman society, that's what also the term mentor and mentee came from. You understand? Like, look it up, right? The mentee was always a little boy that came and studied under whoever. That was his lover. You understand? They were pedophiles. That's why they always were clean cut, clean shaven, so they can look like boys. You understand? Like, this is a evil society, right? Now you got the LBGTQP, but the P in there is for pedophilia.
Wait, they added that?
Yeah.
I was saying no to that.
Yeah, look it up. It's almost like it's like they added the T for the. It's a lot, bro. You know what I'm saying? They got the man. It's like obviously Yazak did a class talking about it, but it's almost in like maybe 10 letters now.
Salakia.
Go ahead.
I don't mean to take this off side.
No, you
I already
fine,
know
Al.
most about the LG, the alphabet letters anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not know that they was adding the pedophilia because I knew that they was allowing
Yeah.
pedophilia in California, but I didn't think they was gonna actually add that to their group because queers back in like 1950s meant pedophiles.
Right.
And I thought they was trying to separate that name. And
No. So how can you separate what made you a homosexual? You understand? Most people that become homosexuals is due to them being molested as a child. So how can you separate the creator from the created from the creator? Homosexuality is bred through pedophilia. So two things happen, right? When you're molested as a child, right? Either you become over-sexualized, right? Or you become either a lesbian, you understand, or a homosexual, or you become very angry and you feel like you have to overcompensate for your manhood. You become violent. You understand? That's why a lot of men in the prison system are extremely violent. They feel like the act of homosexuality is dominating another man in prison. It's not even about sex. It's about dominating him. You understand? It's mass rage. They beat you up. You understand? To the point to where you're almost lifeless. Then they rape you. You understand what I'm saying? It has nothing like to do. It's about anger. It's about rage. It's about dominating someone. You understand? Completely humiliating them to make them feel under you, which comes from Greco-Roman society. That's what they did to the boys, right? And then to go even a step further, to have sex with their wives, they would have their wives dress up like in their uniform, and they would climb in through the window and have sex with their wives under the guise of night and sneak out. You understand what I'm saying? Like the Greco-Roman society is America. Babylonian society is America. Egypt society is America. That's why it says, like, on the whore of Babylon, it's a woman that sits on the dragon. You understand? Sits on the culture of Babylon. Sits on the culture of Persia. Sits on the culture of Egypt. All of their false gods are here. All the culture from those empires are here. You understand? The Orisha of Santeria and Ifa from West Africa, which is Baalism, is here. You understand? Everything from old that went against God is here. That's why this is Babylon the Great. Because the whore, which is America, sits on top of all of this. America is the only nation that has 800 bases in other countries. No other country has a military base in America. You understand? We control the world. When I say we, I'm talking about the country. I'm not talking about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because we control nothing. You understand? But you know what you can control? Yourself. By keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, separating yourself, being holy, Kodash in the Hebrew. You understand? Unto the Lord. All right? Let's get back to it. I think we were in, going back to Revelations 13. Let's see, where we at? 13 and, no sweat, throw it up. 13. All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead.
The book of Revelations, chapter 13. No, verse 3 out of 1.
All right.
I saw, book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death.
Mm-hmm.
And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered at the beast. After the beast, Salakia. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast.
You understand? So the beast, right? Remember, all right? A portion of it was the leopard. It's the Greco-Roman society. You understand? A portion of it was the bear, which is the Persian society, right? And then a portion of it was the lion, which was the Assyrian or Babylonian society, because the Assyrian society is just a continuation of the Babylonian Empire. You understand? And power was given to this beast by the dragon, that old serpent, the devil, and Satan, which is America. You understand? So everything that was done then is done here in America. I mean, hell, you literally have Egypt in Washington. You got an obelisk at the top of the key of the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial is literally modeled after the tomb for Ramses. It literally looks the exact same thing. The only difference is instead of having Ramsey sitting on a seat, you have Abraham Lincoln sitting on a seat. You understand what I'm saying? Like Babylon, Assyria, Persia is Egypt. It's the same culture, same gods, different names. Then Alexander the Great came in, raided the libraries of Alexandria. You know what I'm saying? Got wise in all the books of Satan. You understand? And then remixed it. Now you have the Greek pantheon. You understand? Then the Greece Empire fell. Then the Roman Empire fell. They took what Alexander the Great had and then renamed the pantheon again.
And if I could, I don't want them saying,
and real quick, and the same gods that's in the pantheon, right, are the same gods that's in Ifa in Santeria.
Right.
That's why they're able to tie their gods into Catholicism.
Right.
You understand? Because it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Keep go ahead.
And what's so heavy, if like you say, you know how we be into history a lot, and other history buffs know. You know what I'm saying? America, like you say, all they did was dub over the same thing. So Alexander the Great, what he established during his time was not a full-out conquest of the lands that he took over.
Right.
He set garrisons over the people. So what you had moving forward was you had statements like, when in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Right.
Well, Rome was established over, 13, 14 different countries.
Right.
So you would do anything in Rome, and everything was in Rome because everything was considered Rome.
Right.
Which is why here in America you have all the different, religions and different gods. Because in Rome you had the different religions, the different gods. While Alexander did that, he acknowledged most gods.
Mm-hmm.
He served them all in Egypt. That's why, like when you said, this is Egypt. Egypt went, collected all the gods, collected all the artifacts, brought it back to Egypt, remixed it, renamed it. America did it, Rome did it. It's just a continuation of the same spirit over and over again. There's nothing new under the sun. We just reliving out a captivity over captivity because these people are the same people.
Right. Now, if I say something's been westernized, what does that mean? Raise your hand. If something's been westernized, what does it mean, sis? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what is the Western mindset? Mm-hmm. Give us his hand. That is absolutely correct. Right? So when you, all right, so like I'll give you a perfect example, right? So in Asia, right? Asia Major, all right? So that's Russia, that's China, that's Japan, right? They had their own way of dress, right? Their own culture, right? Okay? So in let's say in Japan, right? You had the samurai, right? And you had the Ming dynasties in China, right? They had their own guards culturally, they had their own ways of looking fly, right? You go there now, if you're considered wealthy, what type of clothes do you wear?
You would wear like American clothes. Like
what is that?
Like like a suit and tie, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Or if you gonna wear some jeans, some polos, something like that.
Right. Okay. So the uniform to be considered wealthy, right, is a suit and tie. That comes from Western civilization, America, or the UK, England, right, which is the beginning of Western society, right? America is a daughter of England. Okay. All right. So, like, I recently went to South Africa, went to Cape Town in Johannesburg, right? Like, Cape Town is a resort for the white wealthy. It's extremely westernized, everyone there speaks English or Dutch. You understand? They either, the actual language, the white language, the Edomites they were conquered by were the Dutch, right? Which is Edom, right? And everybody there speaks English and Dutch. So you have people from Kenya, you have Zulu tribe there. You understand? It's like 2 other tribes there, but their pidgin language that they talk to is Dutch and English. And everybody wears suits. You understand? So, to be in Rome and do as the Romans do means that you are under the power of that culture, of that society. You understand? So, the beast was given power from the dragon, right? The old serpent. You understand? And there's a woman clothed in scarlet that sits on top of that dragon, which is the whore of Babylon, which is America. Just like the Roman Empire did, they had garrisons in all of these different cities, and they turned their locals, they would take the children from the locals and put them in the army at 10 years old and train them up from children, teach them Latin, you understand? Or back then in the Greek the Greek Empire, they would Hellenize them. You understand? Like when you look up in the Bible, when the Bible said there's no Jew, there's no Greek, that word there is Hellen, right? They've been Hellenized. Those were Jews that adopted Greek practices and made it their tongue. They forsook their culture. They were taking his children, put in boarding school, which is what they did to the Native Americans here, right? They would take the children of the quote-unquote savage, put them in boarding school. They were not allowed to speak their native tongue. They were not allowed to wear their traditional garments. You understand? And they were taught that their culture was savage. That's why Native Americans speak English now. And it's very few of them that know how to speak their own language, right? You understand? That's why blacks speak English. You understand? Or Spanish, right? Same thing happened to our Northern Kingdom brother in South in Mesoamerica, Central America. You understand? These are the same people. The same tactic has been done since Greece. We infiltrate, kill off the men, rape the women, take the children. Make them mentees and we'll be their mentors. And while we're trading them like they do in Catholic school, we'll rape them. You understand? And we kill the men, or we buck break them in front of the wives, so they'll be inferior to their wives now. Their wives won't look at them like men anymore. It's the same thing in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. It's tension between the man and the woman. Because if we ever came together as one, you understand, they wouldn't be able to defeat us. That's why we have a high abortion rate, because it's a curse from God. That's why we have a high divorce rate, because it's a curse from God. You understand? So it's time for us to choose, right? Like Babylon is falling, right? But you'd have to know what Babylon is to see it's falling. Everything that was written aforetime is for our learning, for our understanding, right? But you're not going to get this in the Christian church because they don't know. You've never heard a sermon taught on the book of Revelations. You never heard a sermon in the book of Obadiah, the book of Nehemiah, the book of Zephaniah, the book of Micah, the book of Malachi. You've never heard sermons from these books because these books is where the prophecies are. You've never heard a sermon from the book of Isaiah. Why? Because that's where the prophecies are. All they teach, Jesus, resurrection, tithes. That's it. But what's crazy is they say the law is done away with, but tithing is a commandment. It's a law. So you mean to tell me the Lord Christ did away with all of these laws, but tithing? That makes no sense. So either we gonna throw the whole thing out, you know what I'm saying, or we gonna follow the whole thing. You can't pick and choose. A double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. You feel me? Dig what I'm saying? All right, keep reading.
Come on. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshiped the beast, saying, "Who is like unto the beast?"
Man, who is like who is like Greece? Who is like Persia? You understand? Who is like Babylon? Or who is like Egypt? You know the white man loves Egypt, man. He loves everything about Egypt because that's as close he can get in modern times to Babylon, which is the power that was given to the beast. That's why you got Indiana Jones. You know what I'm saying? That's why you got what's your boy? The dude that be doing the History Channel with the aliens. But that's still Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Right? Go ahead.
May I add to that?
Go ahead.
Every time somebody of color, mostly black, Native American, or Mexican, or Hispanic, anytime they would make an accomplishment, it was, these people were not smart enough to do this. It was always aliens.
Right.
But if you mention that, that means aliens only love people of color.
Right. But then on top of that, like, still today, they don't know how the pyramids, they got those large blocks there. And they're perfectly geometrically aligned. You go to the pyramids and the great palaces and kingdoms in the Yucatan Peninsula in the Amazon, like, it's no brick, it's no mortar. They're perfectly set to the point where grass can't grow through it. How are they able to do that then, but we can't do that now? But we're supposed to be an advanced society, right? So you mean to tell me these savages with sticks and spears were able to set brick without mortar that sat there for thousands of years and grass has not penetrated it, but you can't even build a house or a building that can last at least 50?
And light those tunnels down up in there with no electricity.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They had advanced aqueducts then. You understand? There's some proof that they had some type of electricity then. Go ahead.
May I add to that? They're now finding out that the Egyptian pyramids might have been the first Wi-Fi signals, their own version of it,
Right.
because it transmits a type of wave that they can't understand.
But this is ancient technology. You mean to tell me Bill Gates, Steve Jobs couldn't figure out the wave frequency of the pyramids? Or why all the pyramids across the world are perfectly aligned? They're all on the same axis. And they were all built by blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Help me understand that. But you want to wear a suit and tie. You want to ride in a Benz. You can't ride a horse. I like riding horses more than I like riding cars, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing more free than riding an animal with the wind whisking through you, bro. It's nothing more freeing or liberating. Like, they thought that they could build a greater paradise than you out hunting, fishing, and riding horses with your boys. You understand? Take the game that you killed, bring it back home to your wife. She skin that thing up, cook it up, feed the babies, and then you make love to your wife all night. That's heaven on earth, Doc. That's a permanent vacation. They thought that they could build something greater than that. That's what the Native Americans did every day. You understand? That was heaven. All you did was keep the high holy days, go hunt and fish, feed your babies, teach them to do the same thing, and tie fire to your wife every night. What else is better than that? I don't understand. That's a permanent vacation. I don't get it. But I know. You want to sit inside of a stone building at a cubicle with no light in front of a computer that has screensavers of where you was living at one point in time with your people. You understand? And you stayed up for 40 hours a week and then go home and argue with your wife. You wanna know why you argue with your wife? Because you're not able to tie fire to it like you want to. You ain't able to be there and teach your children like you want to. You understand? Like, they have taken your culture from you so they can literally put you in hell so they can be in heaven. Their heaven is your hell. So what do you think your heaven's going to be?
Their hell, sir.
That is correct. Get that brother a hand. You understand? So this is why this is important. If you do not know your history, you are doomed to repeat it. You understand? Somebody give me Isaiah 14:1. Go ahead. Nah, because I'm in my rental. I give them this one. We almost done. I still 15 minutes left. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
And the Lord will have mercy on who?
Will have mercy on Jacob.
Who is Jacob? Who's Jacob?
One of the sons of Abraham? Or no.
Okay. What's so special about Jacob?
Well, if I'm wrong, you can tell me right away. But wasn't his name changed to Israel?
That's correct. Who are you?
Israelite.
What does that make you?
One of the 12 tribes.
Who are they? The 12 tribes are according to who?
According to the Most High, God.
No.
12 tribes.
12 tribes are descendants of who?
Of Abraham.
Huh?
Abraham. No.
Okay, so it's the 12 tribes of Israel, right? So it's the 12 tribes of Israel because of what?
With Jacob having sons.
Right. So that would make you a what?
One of the sons of Jacob.
Get that brother a hand. All right. So read it again.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
So what does that mean for you, Ike?
He will have mercy on me. Mercy
Why
on
do you
people.
Why do you need mercy?
Can't really answer that question.
Right? Why do you need mercy? Say that again, brother. Give him the mic. Yes, that is why you need mercy, Ike. Because before you came across a YouTube video of the I.S.U.P.K, before you happen to be walking down the street and happen to hear some loudspeaker of people yelling into a microphone and wearing these weird garments on the street with fringes on them, you understand? You were living in a culture that were not your own. And you thought everything was right in the world, and you did not know that you were on the broad path to destruction. The Lord allowed you to have mercy so you did not die. We all deserve to die. Because the wages of sin is what? Death. So the reason why you're not dead is because the Lord had mercy on Jacob. Because we are stubborn. You understand? We are a stubborn, stiff-necked people. You can't tell a nigga, a spick, or a savage nothing. What you mean? What you mean I'm an Israelite? Oh, no, nigga, I'm a Christian. I don't know what you talking about. I'm not a child of God. You know what I'm saying? I'm a child of Byron Mosley. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell a nigga nothing. You can't tell a spick nothing. You can't tell a savage nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So because of that, you got to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? Your father can tell your son, don't put your hand on the stove, you're going to burn your hand. He can tell you till you blue in the face, but you going to keep doing it until what? Till you burn your hand. I can say, don't hit your head on the wall. You're going to bust your head open, but what we do? Bah, 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 until you got a concussion. Or you smack your head open and your brain's on the ground and you're dead. The only way you learn is through pain. There is no growth without pain. You can't have patience without long suffering. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord had mercy on Jacob. So the Lord has mercy on you. Read.
For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob,
Mm-hmm.
and will yet choose Israel.
And will yet do what?
And will yet choose Israel.
Come on, yeah, I got you. That's right. I'm almost done. Go ahead. Go ahead. And will yet choose who?
And will yet choose Israel.
Mm-hmm.
And set them in their own land.
Why is it saying that? Why is it saying that he will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel and set them in their own land?
To separate us from all the sin.
Why? Okay. Do blacks have a homeland?
La.
Do Hispanics have a homeland?
Not anymore.
Was that their homeland? Hispanics today, right? Even if you go back, I have a book on Mayan civilization, right? They knew that they were not from where they were from. Like the whole Mayan, Aztec, Olmec civilizations, they knew that they were not from where they were from. But there was like a shield over their eyes, and they couldn't recollect past that because their records were destroyed. Just like the records in Jerusalem were destroyed. So you couldn't find out where you came from. Because the Lord said, because it says that my people perish for lack of knowledge. You understand? Oppression make a wise man mad, but a gift destroyeth the heart. You understand? The settlers came with a gift in hand with a knife behind their back. You understand? One of the tricks that the settlers did, because the Native Americans did not eat of the pig. They didn't eat any abominable thing, right? Because it would make them unclean, and they would have to be separated from the people for a year until the Day of Atonement. You understand? Or it would separate them, and they would not be able to do their priestly duties. So the white man is very cunning, right? So what he would do was, and this is in The History of the American Indians by James A. Derry. It's in the book. Okay? So what they would do was they would take venison, which is deer meat, which is lawful, right? And they would mix it with pork. And they would serve it to them because the venison smells familiar. And they would be like, man, this dish is amazing. He'd be like, yeah, you know what? It's pork in that. You're like, what? Why would you do this to me? He's like, it's not so bad. You're not dead, right? Doesn't your culture say if you eat pork, you'll die. It's still alive. So when one person is taught that, what you think they're gonna go and touch? Man, pork isn't so bad. You're not gonna die from it. You can eat it, right? That's also why today, when you get sausage, it's in pork casing. You get beef sausage, it's in pork casing. You get venison, deer sausage, it's in a pork casing. You understand? Because it's the same trick that they did on the Native Americans. As long as they keep you separated from your culture and keep you sinning, they can keep ruling over you.
So wait.
Beef sausage
still has the pork?
has pork. I mean, they have some that don't.
Yeah,
but
that's
if you don't read it, like if you just go buy beef sausage, majority of the beef sausage in the beef sausage aisle has pork casing in it. Yeah. Like Earl Campbell's doesn't. They have some with collagen casing, but you got to read in order to do it. It's in the fine print with the ingredients on the backside that niggas, Hispanics, and Native Americans don't do. They just buy the food. They don't read the ingredients that's in there. You understand? Majority of the things that you eat have gelatin in them. It has pork in them. That's diabolical. Why is there pork in toothpaste? That's diabolical. You understand? Like, why is there pork in ice cream? That's diabolical. You understand? Why is there pork in cereal? That's diabolical. Why is there pork in face cleansing products? That's diabolical.
Wait, hold on.
Yes. There's pork in everything. That's why it's important for you to read and research what you put in and on your body. Yeah, it takes work. It's no days off. The white man is crafty and cunning. You understand? Because the crafty council, all the nations came together to have crafty counsel so that the name of Israel will be no more in remembrance. That's why you don't know who you are and you've been Hellenized and you speak the language of your oppressor. That's why Lashuan Kodash, your Hebrew class, is so important, because you're taking back your culture. You're able to speak in a tongue to your brother that your enemy will never know what you're saying. That's important, not. What do Hispanics do when they don't want nobody to know what they're talking about? They talking Spanish. But the Spaniard will know what they're saying because that's their oppressor. That's why we created Ebonics, and that's why we talk in slang, right? So the master wouldn't, because they made it illegal for us to speak in our native tongue while we were in slavery. They would literally cut your tongue out, because that means that you would be able to come up with plans and schemes to overthrow your oppressor, and they would never know. Like one day everything would be right as rain, and then it'd be like the day of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Like a thief in the night. Nat Turner. You know what I'm saying? Like the scripture says, first he's going to send the fishermen, then he's going to send the hunters. We're going to hunt them out of every hole and out of every cleft of the rock. That's biblical because it's happening now. People are literally building silos to live in, bunkers to live in, because they know what's coming. That's why Donald Trump developed the Space Force, because he knows what's coming. That's why the Hubble telescope is out there. It's not to navigate the stars. It's to see what's coming. World War III is coming out. Christ is coming out. 200 million chariots is coming out. Alexander the Great was the beginning of the rise of Satan and the Antichrist. Where do you think we are now?
We're at the end, as most of the other nations went through.
We are at the end. If you don't believe it, Babylon fell. Persia fell. Egypt fell. Greece fell. Rome fell. The Ming dynasties They fail. So what you think gonna happen to America?
It's gonna fail.
It's gonna fall. You understand? And that's our time. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General YAHANNA. And with that, we're going to say Imadium, which means to stand. Sar, which means to turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew, then in English. Repeat after me. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malak with Ka, Taba'ah, Ratazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawah, Hayah, Bashamayim, Natalanawa, Lakham, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawakinawa, Wala'ah, Taba'aynawa, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashinawa, Mayan, Rai, Kayab, Lakab, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahata Para, La'awalamium, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Sar, turn your face to front. Go give a courtesy salute to the brothers, then to the sisters. Men of Israel, Body Shabbat, Badu, Ra, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Yazmatah, Sar, turn your face to sisters. Men of Israel, Body Shabbat, Badu, Barak, Yahweh Shemar Thah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. Yazmatah, dismiss.
Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Brakatah, Yahweh Shemar L'Thah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah to the sisters. I'm President Captain Isupk with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commanding General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come out, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way He's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 1414 9 Player Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.
Shalom, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Brakatah. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar L'Thah Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. What's going on, Israel's priest officer 5,000 times a day out here in Houston, Texas. On April 22nd, you understand, it's the annual slaughter of the lambs. You understand, it's going to be a righteous event. You understand, we're going to do something that's righteous and holy unto the Lord, something that's biblical. Out here at Hamazah Farm, you understand, 9022 Puritan Way, Rocheron, Texas. You understand, brothers, sisters, you understand, bring your family out. You understand, it's going to be a righteous event. It's something we're going to do for the Lord. Shalom, Israel.